Okay, let's unpack this.
Hmm.
We make decisions constantly, right?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Thousands every single day.
Yeah, tiny ones, huge ones. And, the quality of those choices, that really shapes our lives, doesn't it? It sets the path forward.
It absolutely does. I mean, think about it. Where you are right now is pretty much the sum of all your past choices, within your circumstances, of course.
Right.
And what's interesting, or maybe a bit concerning, is that most of us never got, like, a manual on how to make good decisions.
We just wing it.
Kind of, yeah. We sort of hope for the best.
And the material we've been looking at really emphasizes this. You can keep making the same choices, get the same results.
Or you can choose differently, starting right now, today.
And it suggests you might be just one, significant decision away from a totally different future.
It's a powerful idea. And this material really clarifies that deciding isn't passive. It's not just picking. It's commitment.
Commitment.
Yeah, if you want to build anything meaningful, a career, a business, even a strong relationship, you have to commit. You can't just keep all your options open forever.
So if deciding means committing, how do we figure out what to commit to? That's the tricky part sometimes.
Well, that's where values really come into play. The sources talk about values as being this critical filtering mechanism.
A filter? How so?
So if courage is a big value for you, you'll naturally find yourself making decisions that involve maybe facing discomfort.
Right.
If discipline is key, you'll choose the path that requires hard work towards your goals. If excellence is your thing, your choices will lean towards improving performance.
It's like an internal compass then,
Yeah.
guiding you.
Exactly, a compass or, a GPS. The clearer you are on your values, the less confusing things get. Decisions become simpler because you're filtering them through what actually matters to you.
So it's about choosing who you want to be.
And then acting that way, day by day, making choices that line up with that identity.
And you can't really avoid it, can you? Even not choosing.
That is a choice. It's choosing to let things happen to you, to let the world decide your path. The material is really strong on this. You have the agency, the power, to choose how your life unfolds.
Okay, so decisions are these fundamental commitments guided by our values, but it often feels more complicated than that in the moment. What else is going on?
Oh, it's definitely more complex.
Yeah.
Our decisions don't happen in a vacuum. They're made within this whole, frame of reference, influenced by tons of different
Inputs.
Yeah. And to make better decisions, we need to understand those inputs. Because if you understand them, maybe you can change them.
Okay, what are the key ones the material points to?
The big ones identified are your beliefs, your past experiences, your values, which we touched on, your goals, and your environment.
Right, a whole ecosystem influencing choice.
Exactly. And understanding each piece gives you levers to pull.
Okay, let's dig into those. Beliefs first. The sources say they basically dictate what you think is even possible for you, like a filter for reality.
Totally. Think of them as your brain's operating system. Empowering beliefs, like I can learn any skill I need to, they fuel action. They make you resilient. But disempowering beliefs, maybe thinking I can have a great career and make good money, those can just shut you down, make you feel powerless, stop you before you even try.
So what you believe directly impacts the choices you even see as available.
Precisely. The more empowering your beliefs, generally, the better your decisions and outcomes tend to be.
So how do you upgrade your operating system if a belief isn't serving you?
Well, a really powerful technique mentioned is to first identify those beliefs that are holding you back, see them for what they are,
Okay.
and then actively challenge them. Like, do the thing you thought was impossible for you.
Ooh, like what?
Could be anything. Give that speech you're terrified of, post that video of your work, start running even if you think you're not a runner. Start small, maybe, but just move forward.
That act of doing it changes things internally.
It totally rewrites the narrative. It provides proof that you're capable of more. It chips away at the limiting belief.
That makes sense. You're accumulating evidence against the old belief.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just big challenges. The material also mentions just setting and achieving small, simple tasks consistently. That builds self-discipline, boosts confidence bit by bit, reinforcing those better beliefs daily.
Okay, that's beliefs. What about the next input? Past experiences. This was interesting. The idea that our past isn't just objective fact.
Right. It's more like a story, almost a fiction, that our brain constructs by editing, interpreting, highlighting some things, downplaying others.
And that story dictates how we see ourselves now.
Absolutely. It shapes what we believe we can or can't do based on that interpretation of past events.
So if the past is just a story,
You can change the story. You can reinterpret those experiences, reframe them so they serve you going forward instead of trapping you.
How do you do that? It sounds difficult.
It involves consciously updating your identity based on a more, let's say, useful perspective, like truly internalizing that you're a work in progress.
Accepting imperfections.
Yes, and moving forward with self-compassion. Seeing yourself as a learner, someone for whom failure is just feedback, part of the process of getting skilled.
Not an endpoint.
Not at all. And really believing you can change, that today's decisions aren't dictated by yesterday's. Building grit, too. Seeing yourself as someone who sticks with things, not someone who quits easily.
And a problem solver.
Yes, capable of figuring things out. So you actively look back, but instead of focusing on mistakes or what went wrong,
You pull out the lessons.
extract the lessons, focus on what you did achieve, who you helped, how you grew. That interpretation becomes the fuel for your future decisions.
Okay, beliefs, past experiences. We covered values earlier. What about goals? How do they fit in?
Goals are huge for decision-making because they provide direction, clarity. The material draws a straight line. Specific goals lead to a sound strategy.
Which leads to effective decisions. Makes sense.
Yeah, goals aren't just wishful thinking. They force you to prioritize based on what really matters to you. Your interests, your values, your aspirations.
Like the Elon Musk example you mentioned, that huge vision.
Right, that clarity about Mars or sustainable energy informs countless smaller decisions along the way. The clearer the goal, the easier the strategy, and the easier the day-to-day choices become.
So how do we set goals that actually work, that aren't just vague dreams?
It starts with a long-term vision, something inspiring that stretches you, maybe doesn't even have a fixed endpoint, but definitely motivates action and aligns with your core values.
Get that big picture clear first.
Then, crucially, write it down. Use actual pen and paper. The sources suggest this simple act makes it more real, signals to your brain that you're serious.
And using frameworks like SMART, specific, measurable.
Achievable, relevant, time-limited. Yeah, that helps turn a vague idea like write a book into an actionable goal. Complete the first draft of my novel by December 31st.
Much more concrete.
And then break that down further into milestones and even daily steps. The material calls these now goals. What can you do today?
Because it's the daily progress that adds up.
Exactly. That's how big goals actually get achieved. Consistent daily action.
Okay, last input. Environment. How does our surrounding influence our choices?
Massively. Often in ways we don't even consciously notice. It shapes how we think, feel, and act.
An environment isn't just physical space, right?
No, it's multifaceted. There's your mental environment, the information you consume, news, social media, books, podcasts. Your physical environment, your home, your workspace, noise levels, clutter.
Got it.
And maybe most importantly, the people. Your family, friends, colleagues, the people you spend the most time with.
So if you're in a negative or distracting environment,
It's going to pull your decisions in a certain direction, likely towards short-term thinking or things that don't align with your best self. A positive, supportive environment does the opposite. It inspires better long-term choices.
and the key takeaway is,
Be proactive. Don't just accept your environment, design it. Consciously shape your surroundings, mental, physical, social, to support the kinds of decisions you want to be making.
wow, okay, that's a lot on the inputs, beliefs, experiences, values, goals, environment. Understanding those helps explain the why behind our choices, but how do we actually improve the quality? Make choices that are more aligned with reality.
Right, that's the next crucial step. It's about refining our mental model of how the world actually works, questioning assumptions, tuning our thinking.
And the material highlights a few key ways to do that.
Yeah, three main areas. Understanding the probabilistic nature of the world, eliminating cognitive biases, and redefining risk.
Okay, probability. This feels important. We often act like things are certain, black and white.
But they rarely are. The world runs on probabilities, not guarantees. It's more like, if I do X, there's a probability I'll get outcome Y. Most decisions fall somewhere on that spectrum.
So we should think in terms of bets.
Exactly. Every significant decision is essentially a bet on a future you want. You won't always win, even with good decisions. Think poker, sales, even health choices.
Right, you can do everything right and still lose the hand or not get the sale.
But the goal isn't to win every single time. It's to make good enough bets, often enough, and crucially, for long enough.
And that consistency over time starts to look like luck.
That's how you create luck, according to the sources. Commit to a goal for, say, 3-5 years. Keep making calculated bets. You increase your chances of building the right skills, finding the right strategy, meeting the right people.
How do you get better at judging those probabilities, though? It sounds fuzzy.
It is subjective, definitely an art you improve with practice. Try consciously assigning probabilities to outcomes when you face a decision. Just put a number on it.
Even if it's just a guess.
Yeah, start there. And be conservative. We tend towards overconfidence.
Yeah.
Challenge your own reasoning.
Yeah.
Why do I think it's a 70% chance? And just generally make more predictions about things. Pay attention to how often you're right or wrong. It hones your intuition.
And once you have a sense of the odds, you can try to improve them.
Yes, that's the empowering part. Don't just accept the odds. Ask, what can I do to increase my chances? Hire a coach. Get more training. Ask for honest feedback. Put in more focused effort. Move location.
There's usually something.
Almost always. Now, how much you think you can improve the odds, that's subjective too, based on your experience, self-knowledge, research. But the point is to be proactive.
Okay, beyond probability, our own thinking can lead us astray. Cognitive biases, those mental shortcuts that often backfire.
Yep, systematic errors in thinking. The sources list a whole bunch, but recognizing them is the first defense. A classic one is the sunk cost fallacy.
Ah, yes. Throwing good money after bad, basically.
Or time, or energy. Continuing down a path just because you've already invested so much, even when it's clearly not the right path anymore.
Like staying in that job you hate just because you've been there 10 years.
Exactly. The counter is zero-based thinking. Ask yourself, knowing what I know now, if I weren't already invested, would I choose this today?
Ouch. That's a tough question sometimes.
It can be, but it's crucial. Don't recommit to a past that isn't working. Commit to the future you actually want.
Then there's the status quo bias, just assuming things will continue as they are.
Yeah, it's always been this way trap. But remember, your past is just a story. Your imagination shapes your future possibilities. Small, consistent steps truly can change everything over time.
Like the walking example, daily walks can lead to running a marathon eventually.
Totally. You can always improve, always change direction. Don't let the past dictate the future.
What about present bias, wanting the reward now?
Oh, this is a big one. We're wired for immediate gratification. But thinking long-term, delaying gratification, that's a massive predictor of success in almost any field.
So consciously expand your time horizon.
Yes. Make decisions based on where you want to be in 5, 10, 20 years, not just next week. Those calculated long-term bets often have the biggest payoffs.
And confirmation bias, seeing only what we want to see.
Exactly. We seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore anything that contradicts them. It feels comfortable, but it blinds us.
So the antidote is?
Actively look for evidence that would disprove your theory or belief. Steelman the opposing argument. It's uncomfortable, but it's how you get closer to the truth and make much sounder decisions.
There's also the illusion of knowledge, thinking we know more than we actually do.
Happens all the time. The key here is humility. See yourself as a constant learner. True understanding doesn't just come from reading about something that's just intellectual knowing.
You have to do it.
You have to do it, apply it, experience it, eventually live it or embody it. That's where real mastery comes from.
And scarcity bias, FOMO, the fear of missing out, thinking opportunities are rare.
Which makes us jump at things that might not be right for us just because we're afraid it's the last chance.
But the sources say opportunities are.
Endless. Abundant, really. The skill isn't just spotting opportunities. It's having the clarity and discipline to say yes only to the ones that truly align with your vision and values, and confidently say no to everything else. Your time and focus are the real scarce resources.
Okay, so understanding these biases helps us debug our own thinking. What about the concept of risk? The sources had a fresh take on that.
They really did. A core idea is that often the biggest risk isn't taking action. It's not taking action. It's the risk of stagnation, of regret, of an unlived life.
And we often misjudge what's truly risky.
Hugely. We confuse an ego threat, feeling uncomfortable, facing criticism, maybe failing publicly with a genuine survival threat, like actual physical danger or financial ruin.
Most things that feel risky are just uncomfortable.
Exactly. Things like public speaking, starting a business, asking someone out. They feel risky because our ego is on the line. But they're usually not actually dangerous in a survival sense. The advice is to prioritize learning and growth over protecting your ego.
But this doesn't mean be reckless, right? It's about calculated risks.
Absolutely. Calculated risk means understanding the potential downside and actively working to mitigate it. You test the water.
How?
Don't invest your life savings on day one. Start the business as a side hustle first. Build a minimum viable product. Visit the country before you decide to move there. Find ways to learn and experiment with less potential fallout if things don't work out immediately.
And there's one category of risk to absolutely avoid.
Yes. Catastrophic decisions. These are the ones with low or uncertain upside, but potentially devastating permanent downsides.
Like what?
Things that could lead to permanent health damage, premature death, or total financial ruin. Think drunk driving, certain extreme sports without proper training, unprotected sex with multiple partners, betting everything on a single speculative investment. The potential benefit almost never justifies the potential catastrophe. Protect yourself against these above all.
Okay, so we've got the inputs, we've worked on our thinking engine, probability, biases, risk. The final piece seems to be about organizing our decisions, making sense of it all.
Yeah, bringing it all together. How do you sort the good decisions from the bad, the important from the trivial? Clarity is key here.
And how do we find that clarity in the midst of, well, life?
Paradoxically, one powerful way mentioned is through silence. Regularly spending time alone, without inputs, without distractions.
Just quiet.
Just quiet. It allows you to reconnect with yourself, to zoom out. The analogy used was like letting muddy water settle. The dirt falls to the bottom and the water becomes clear.
Ah,
It helps you process information, filter out the noise of what everyone else is doing or saying, and really tune into what you want, what your intuition is telling you.
and actively reducing choices. We're so overloaded.
Absolutely. Information overload is real, and it drains willpower. Be much more intentional about the information you let in social media, news, email. Unsubscribe ruthlessly.
Use your goals and values as a filter.
Exactly. To separate the signal from the noise. Decide what's important to you and ignore the rest. And proactively narrow down choices where possible. Set time limits for deciding minor things. Outsource decisions that don't need your unique input. Create rules for yourself, like I only check news once a day. Prioritize depth over breadth in what you consume.
A really practical tool for focus mentioned is the 80-20 principle.
Yes, the Pareto principle. The idea that roughly 20% of your inputs or efforts tend to generate 80% of your results. It's not exact science, but the concept is powerful.
Focus on the vital few.
Precisely. Identify the small number of things that really move the needle in a specific area of your life.
How do you apply that practically?
Pick one key area where you want to break through right now, career, health, finances, whatever. Then figure out what are the 20% of actions that yield 80% of the positive results in that area. For health, it might be as simple as don't smoke, limit added sugar, get regular cardio. For finances, save a significant portion of your income. Focus on increasing your earning potential. For productivity, set clear yearly and daily goals. Block time for your single most important task.
Identify those high-leverage actions.
And then turn them into non-negotiable daily or weekly habits. Stick to them. Refine them. Once that area feels solid, maybe apply the principle to the next most important area. It's about directing your limited energy effectively.
Thinking holistically is also stressed. Decisions aren't made in isolation.
Definitely not. You need to consider multiple factors, like timing. Is now really the right time? Do I have the bandwidth? Is there value in waiting a bit, maybe gathering more information, or just clarifying my own why?
And the psychological impact.
Crucial. Will this decision bring you peace of mind, or will it create constant stress and anxiety? The material warns against sacrificing your well-being for external markers like money or prestige if it makes you miserable long-term.
Don't forget your personal values and preferences, what you actually want.
Yes, it's so easy to follow generic advice or do what others expect. But is this aligned with your values? Is it something you'll actually enjoy doing? Remember that quote, if you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Listen to yourself.
And effectiveness. Is this the best way to get the result?
Right. Are you just being busy? Or are you actually being effective? Are you solving the right problem in the right way? Don't get caught up doing unimportant things really well.
Finally, does it build momentum? Create a positive spiral?
These are high-leverage decisions, like starting that daily walk which leads to eating better, which gives you more energy, or tackling your hardest task first thing, which builds confidence and makes the rest of the day feel easier. Look for choices that have those positive ripple effects.
Okay, so thinking holistically, what about just managing the sheer volume of decisions, streamlining them?
Yeah, this is about freeing up mental energy and willpower. It involves a few key tactics. Eliminating. What activities or decisions can you just stop doing altogether because they don't move you towards your vision? Less is often more. Yes. What tasks are you doing that someone else could do? Things you don't enjoy, aren't good at, or that simply take up too much of your time? Ask, who can help me? Start small if needed.
Automating.
Setting up systems for recurring tasks, Bill payments, saving, certain email responses saves willpower for more important choices.
And combining or habit stacking.
We touched on this. Linking key habits together so they flow naturally, maybe meditating right after your morning coffee, reviewing goals while your computer boots up, makes consistency easier with less mental effort.
The last big idea seems to be about making decisions faster. Overcoming procrastination.
Yes, this is critical. Procrastination kills momentum. The suggestion is to cultivate impatience in the short term, act with urgency today, but patience in the long term, knowing big goals take time.
And a key reason we procrastinate is fear of making the wrong choice.
But the insight here is that most decisions are actually reversible. If it doesn't work out, you can usually adjust, pivot, or backtrack.
Knowing that makes it less scary to act.
Exactly. It gives you permission to experiment, to fail forward. Often, the cost of indecision, of staying stuck, is far higher than the cost of making a decision and potentially needing to adjust later. Indecision drains energy and erodes confidence.
So look for ways to make decisions more reversible.
If possible, yes. Flexible bookings, trial periods, starting small, then act. Action is usually better than inaction.
Especially for smaller reversible choices. Don't get bogged down.
Right. Act quickly if the decision is easily reversible or the long-term outcome isn't critical. Use the test the water approach for bigger things, but always steer clear of those potentially catastrophic, irreversible decisions.
Wow, that was quite a deep dive into the art and science of decision making. Drawing on all that material, we've covered the inputs, the thinking processes, the organizing principles.
It really paints a comprehensive picture, doesn't it? It's clear that getting better at decisions isn't just about gathering more facts. It's about self-awareness, understanding probability, fighting our own biases, and being really strategic with our focus and energy. The sources offer a powerful framework.
This deep dive really suggests that improving the quality of your life fundamentally comes down to improving the quality of your choices, which really makes you think, what single calculated bet could you make today that might significantly increase your odds of creating the future you want?